Welcome back, darlings. This one's all about Phat Neut. Bilt Hamber's new multi-mode rinseless wash product that promises to do things completely differently and blow the competition out of the water, potentially. It is completely pH neutral, but apparently has better cleaning power than Bilt Hamber Touchless, which is quite a claim. It can dry out, which you've never been able to do with any product in terms of recommended use anyway. You can use it wet, of course. It's apparently incredibly potent. There's a lot to test and work out with this one. So rather than talking about it all now, I could get straight into it and tell you what's going on while I'm using it. And to start off with, I thought we'd do some dry on mode. Now I have to say, the dry on mode isn't really designed for wheel cleaning. It's the wrong type of dirt. It's not traffic film, it's brake dust and stuff. However, dry on is basically when you leave the product to dry out. Normally, we're told you shouldn't let a pre-washed product dry out because it could damage the bodywork and the paint. This isn't the case with Phat Neut. You are allowed to dry it out, and if you dried it out, it has a higher cleaning power. That's the theory anyway. So it'll be interesting to see what it does. You can see after about 4 or 5 minutes worth of dwell here, it has started to dry out quite considerably. So that was a good yardstick for me to start with. Now, as I rinse it off, this is sped up, by the way. Not massively, but enough to improve the viewing pleasure, shall we say. I wouldn't say that we're judging my rinsing ability here. We're seeing how easy it is for the product to shift the dirt. And I would say already, I think Touchless is better than Phat Neut for this particular task. But again, I must reiterate that this is not really what Phat Neut is designed for. It's designed for traffic film, which is greasier and grimier and more dirt rather than iron and carbon-based dust that you get on the brakes. As you can see here, it has done a better job than no product at all. So it clearly does have some cleaning power. I say it's pretty good, right? That's actually not that bad, especially without any contact. You could go in and do a contact wash on that, even with the rinseless, and come up pretty well, I think, especially for maintenance purposes. So that is good to know. It is effective, especially on that dry on mode, and on the wheels are one of the safest places to try that if your car isn't that dirty. But what it's really designed for is this sort of dirt. Now, a rinseless wash in the summer is a really good candidate. This is good summer dirt. It's dusty, it's been warm, and then it's rained a bit, so it's got a bit of road mark. The perfect candidate for a rinseless wash, in my opinion, especially one that's supposed to be able to clean. Now, this is Phat Neut going on at 1:30, which is a bit higher than its pre-soak recommendation. That's because I put it in a 5-litre pump sprayer, but it's actually only 3-litre capacity, so I got the ratio slightly wrong. So it's 1:30, 3% PIR. Also going on at 1:30 is Feynlab Pure Rinseless, and I'm putting that on because that is, up to this point, has been the best cleaning rinseless wash product I have used. And I'm letting it dwell here for about 3 or 4 minutes, and then give it a blast off. And going with the Phat Neut side here, you can see it's coming off, and it's not just the water. Now, you might argue that it is. In a minute, I do another test where I leave a control gap between the two products so we can see what the difference is. But here's the Phat Neut side. And then I'm drifting over now into the Feynlab. And at this point, not too different in terms of its cleaning power, which is cool. You have to remember, Phat Neut doesn't have any of these warning labels on it, whereas, of course, the Feynlab does. I did check that, it does. It's not nasty, but it's not as safe as Phat Neut. And whilst you can't see it right here, I'll show you a bit later, it does look like the Phat Neut has cleaned marginally better. But as I said, I didn't have a control section, so here it goes on the Phat Neut again, and then here comes on the Feynlab, and then I've got a gap in between, so I'm treating that as the control, and that will just be rinsed with the water as we go down. Leave this again to dwell for 3 or 4 minutes, and I want to make it even. It also gives all those surfactants a good chance to work, and now we can come and see what we've got. So rinsing them off again now, you can see that the Phat Neut's shifting it well. And then if I come down here, this is the bit that had no product on. Even there, I think you can see that it is a bit dirtier, quite a bit dirtier. Bear in mind, there's probably a bit of overspray going on there. But I'll zoom in a minute and we'll be able to have a closer look. I'm giving it an even rinse all the way across, just to make sure we've not had any reasons for various products to perform better than others. And as I've done that, we're going to go across and have a look now. And you can see this bit in the middle. You see it's streaky. That is where there was no product. Now, that was this is the Phat Neut side. The other side was Feynlab. The Phat Neut side is cleaner. And you can also see, again, this is where the Feynlab was on that door and the Phat Neut at the end. It's hard to tell, I get it, but the Phat Neut had cleaned better than the Feynlab. So I also wanted to show out the wetting out characteristics of this, because that's something they make a big claim to, that it wets out well. So I'm coating the glass, and the glass is one of the things that dries out much quicker than the paintwork. So we're leaving this here to dwell for about 3 or 4 minutes, because I hadn't pre-washed these bits at this point. And you can see it's doing pretty well. Glass is more hydrophobic, so it rejects stuff well, and therefore it kept a nice wet film over the whole thing for a decent amount of time. This is in sunlight, hazy sunlight, but the sun is coming from the other direction, so these windows are not getting super heated up yet. I'll do the other side a bit later. Giving a rinse off though, didn't see any residue. They did seem clean. That's great. You can see I've got chrome trims there. This stuff is supposed to be a lot kinder to those rather than the high alkaline pre-washes, which can cause discoloration, and I think they have on my car. But the pre-wash is done, so now it's all about the rinseless wash, which is one of the reasons you get this product, right? It can clean, which is great, but then you want to be able to do a rinseless wash. My process for rinseless wash, I do use one of the proper sponges. This is the McKee's Big Gold Sponge. I don't think it's particularly important that you use that particular one, but one of the proper rinseless wash sponges does make a difference. And I 2-bucket method. I always think that's the right thing, and they sort of suggest that in the instructions here. So for me, this was nothing new. And I always double wash. What I mean by that is, you see me now, I'm just cleaning the panel, but there's still quite a bit of dirt on the panel suspended in the kind of runoff solution. So what I do then is I go back over with a very drippy sponge and kind of clean it again, but also sluice off the panel. You could do this with water in a pump sprayer if you wanted to. DI water would be great for that. No problems at all. You could do it with a weaker dilution of the products. You could get a 1 to 250 if you wanted to. Again, just for getting that clean. Talking of the dilution ratios, the interesting one for me is nearly every other rinseless product is 1 to 250 or 1 to 256. It's basically the same in the real world terms when you're using it, especially if you're using metric. And they say use that as your pre-rinse and pre-wash. I don't think it's right. You should go stronger. And I've used the pre-spray on here, that when I did the contact wash, is the same as I use for the pre-wash. So it's 1 to 30 or 3% PIR. I'm going in drying it. I'm not necessarily following the instructions here because I just use my drying towel. And it looks like it's come up absolutely fine. We're going to revisit that a bit later because it isn't. It looks absolutely fine here, doesn't it? No streaking, because that's something that people have talked about a lot. I was like, okay, I want to make sure, I want to capture that to see if there's any streaking afterwards. I'm looking at it going, no, there's no problem at all. Moving on to the other side. And this time I've actually gone for lunch in between this. And now the sun's up a bit higher. It's definitely a bit stronger. It's definitely warmer. It's about 26 degrees. Those black glass panels are starting to get pretty warm. So this is a good indication to see how long it would last before it dried out in heat. And as I've put that on, giving it a good even coating, I'm not worried about the bodywork because that's white. It doesn't really heat out that much, which is why I've got a white car. It makes it a lot easier to clean. Look at the windows here. And you can see this is after about 3 minutes. It has dried out on the windows. And that's not really a concern because you can dry it out, right? This product is one of the best things about it. But I was interested to see how quickly it went off. The paintwork was absolutely fine, still nice and wetted out. Giving it a rinse off now, and you wouldn't know that it had dried on. It was absolutely fine, really free rinsing, so that's great. The sun's out properly now. And I'm just going to make sure I'm really thorough, get it all off as much as possible, and then go around and do my rinseless wash process. Now on this side, I'm sort of doing a panel or an area at a time because it was drying out much quicker on me. So I'm doing it, but I'm not doing what they suggest, which is they say, for after your drying towel, follow up with a dry towel and buff. I had not done that because I was treating it like a regular rinseless wash. Didn't seem too much of a problem. Going on to the back, now this window has got really hot. Now you can see just above the rear spoiler there where the brake light is, it's starting to steam. That's how hot that is. But look at the panel, it's pretty wet still. Like it hasn't instantly dried out. You and I both know there are products that would instantly evaporate as they hit that. So the wetting agents in here are no joke. But I only left it on for about 1.5 minutes this time because it was drying out and I wanted to use it wet. And again, it seems to have cleaned up really, really well. I can't argue with its cleaning performance in this context of a lightly dirty car and being used as a rinseless wash. Really, really good, very capable. I've just sped up this because, again, not too interesting. The interesting bit comes after I wash it and I come to drying. So washing it again, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I do flip the side of the sponge over before rinsing it out, so you get 2 clean faces, and then I'm double washing everything, as I said earlier. So that gets rid of all of the, well, as much of the dirt on the panel. So when you come to dry, you're not dragging around more dirt. Now, as I was drying on this panel, I noticed it smearing. Now that panel was hot, so I kept doing, I flipped the towel over to the drier side. I keep going at it. So I've dried that glass twice now. The towel was definitely feeling pretty damp. Now I've come back and done it a third time. I would say the wetting agents in this might be making my drying towel wetter than it would normally be. It felt like it got very wet and didn't dry out too much in the process of being outside. So that's an interesting observation. If you look at the buckets, a 2-bucket method is really good, but the way the dirt is suspended in that rinse bucket, I've never seen anything else like it. All the stuff they talked about genuinely seems to be the case. It seems to have emulsified the dirt and suspended it. But this is the streaking I was left with the day after. You know, I showed you this. It looked completely clear, didn't it? The day after, it was streaky. Now, I came back and just used some QD. So this is CarPro Echo. I actually used another rinseless wash, 16:1. I've wiped it on there, wiped it over. It's moved all the residue. You could use any QD you wanted to. But the thing is, with this, is you shouldn't need to. And it was my technique that made the error, because I didn't follow up all the drying I did with a nice dry towel. So that is what's caused that. Now let's really talk about this a bit more and understand the science behind it as much as I possibly can convey it, and some constraints and stuff that I've learned. I've had a fantastic email exchange with Bilt Hamber at Bilt Hamber, so he's the owner. It has been very enlightening and educational. He's really helped me out understand this product really well. The instructions are really good on the back. And one thing I was unsure about was, oh my God, if it dries out and it's not heavy traffic film, is that a problem? No, it's not. Even at 4% PIR, they've tested it stronger at far higher temperatures than you would normally get, although we're in that horrible heat wave at the moment. It's the Wednesday before I've released this, so it's going to be about 40 degrees today. Panel temperatures will be really high. You can let it dry out at higher concentrations. Don't, all right, but 4% is safe. Even if it accidentally dries out, do not worry. Get it off, obviously, but don't worry about it. And I've proven that that residue is pretty easy to get off, so that's cool. The important thing is, which I didn't do, was following it up with the dry towel once you're drying. So like just a plain microfiber cloth. But you can see on the back glass, I didn't have any smearing because I'm seeing it smear and streak, but as I kept buffing, it went away. That is a trait of this, that you have to make sure you dry it correctly. That's where the streaking comes in. So it is different from other rinseless washes. And the reason is, this, they say, goes back to the bare paint. It doesn't leave anything behind. So once you buffed it away, there's no residue. Whereas other rinseless washes, apart from the Feynlab, when you buff it and it looks nice and dry and clear, it genuinely is. So, but there's actually product left on the panel that makes it look nice and glossy and clean and streak free, and it helps the water just evaporate away evenly. But there's actually a film of product on there. There apparently isn't with this. That doesn't mean you can go and coat on top of that. You should still use a panel prep. But that is why when you dry it properly, it doesn't streak. And if you don't, basically those wetting agents eventually dry out and then they leave the residue. That's what we saw on my car. So if you see that happening, that's all it is. You did see I remedied that with a bit of QD. Fine. If you use a QD in part of your drying process, fine, you won't get it. I did the bonnet and I was spraying Koch Chemie FSE on there. Works really well. Obviously that is leaving something behind, but that's not affecting this, and there was no streaking whatsoever. So you can do that, and that's not an issue. You just have to think about this product a bit differently. This cleans in a different way. It encapsulates the dirt, it emulsifies the dirt, and it wants to take it off in the pre-wash phase. Typical Bilt Hamber, they made a brilliant pre-wash product here. Cool. Whereas a lot of other rinseless wash products, they don't really do any pre-wash cleaning, which is why I always use something like Touchless via a pump sprayer on it first, or foamed on. So the process here of doing a pre-wash with a pressure washer isn't actually new to me. You could definitely do it with a garden pump sprayer as well, with water in, and it would shift a lot of the dirt. So that's really what you want, and that's really useful. Uses a lot less water that way, and you still get the benefit of it being rinseless in that sense. You know, you use a lot less water and it's less wet, so you can do it in the garage. That's fine, you could do that, no problem. I need to test it. I haven't done it. I've seen some test footage from Bilt Hamber that they provided me. It's confidential, so I can't show it to you, unfortunately, but it's enough for me to want to test it. So it is a very capable pre-wash product, and therefore a very good rinseless wash product. Very slick. Just make sure you dry it properly. That's good. I would recommend it. You just have to understand what you're doing differently, and it is slightly different from any other rinseless wash product, but it doesn't make it bad. What I'm really looking forward to do is testing this over the winter on the proper heavy winter grime, because if it is better than touchless, that's a hell of a claim for something that's pH neutral and has no warnings on it as well. So this is a big thing. It's not harmful. There's no irritant labels, there's no corrosion labels. It's not because they forgot to put it on. It's so safe that you don't need to have them on. Even every other rinseless product has the irritant label on, the ones that I've used anyway. It is an incredible proposition, and from what I've tested so far, I have no reason to believe it won't be really good. You just need to learn how to use it properly. And I would say with that, this claim that it's better than touchless, I suspect that is when it dries on. I haven't had a chance to use that yet. We'll do it over the winter. We'll revisit it. We'll do side-by-side testing with Garage Therapy Snow V3 and touchless, you know, to really, really compare it and assess the speed that it does it in and whatnot. But this being pH neutral, it shouldn't affect all your chrome trims, and the stuff on my Merc has now started to discolour after the use of years and years and years of using heavy strong chemicals. So that is something I'd be really interested to see if it works. So if you're wondering about it, do give it a go, but do understand it is different from other rinseless washes and you have to treat it differently. Follow the instructions though and you'll be absolutely fine. I hope you found that one interesting, darlings. I need to go inside into the shade and in front of a fan because I am sweating buckets. I shall see you in the next one.